Very good morning, students. Welcome to Gnan Manjari Vidyapith MOVA online digital platform. As you know, I am your science teacher Vatsal Trivedi. Today we are discussed on the topic of the reproduction in living organisms. So today we are start with the video. Here you can see in your screen one amazing video that regarding to sexual and asexual reproduction. So there is a types of reproduction. So today let us start.
Asexual reproduction. Seema was reading about Hydra and amoeba. She became curious and went to her father's lab to study the sample of water that her father had collected from a nearby pond to observe Hydra and amoeba. She prepared a slide to examine them under a microscope. She saw one Hydra and two amoebae under the microscope. After 2 days, when she examined again, she found many hydra and amoebae. Seema is confused about how they increased in number. Do you know why the number of amoeba and hydra increased? Let's find out. We have already learned that a few plants like potatoes and roses reproduce asexually. Similarly, there are smaller animals and microorganisms that can reproduce asexually. In asexual reproduction, organisms do not need two parents to reproduce. A single parent can produce an offspring. There are two types of asexual reproduction: budding and binary fission. Now, let's understand both of these processes with the help of Hydra and amoeba. Hydra undergoes budding, whereas amoeba undergoes binary fission. Let's start with budding in Hydra. Hydra is a small animal found in freshwater sources like ponds and lakes. To reproduce, the parent Hydra forms one or more bulges called a bud. The bud grows as the cells at the site of the bud continue to divide and make more cells. The bud obtains nutrition from the parent. Once matured, the bud breaks away from the parent Hydra and becomes a new individual. Budding is a slow process. This is why after 2 days, Seema saw fewer hydra under the microscope. The hydra are identical to the parent Hydra, which means they are just copies of the parent Hydra as they have the same genetic information as the parent Hydra. Like Hydra, jellyfish also reproduce through budding. Let us now see binary fission in amoeba. Amoebae are unicellular organisms that also live in freshwater sources. To reproduce by binary fission, first the nucleus of an amoeba divides into two nuclei. Then the cytoplasm splits, forming two identical amoebae. Binary fission is quicker than budding. This is why after 2 days, Seema saw many amoebae under the microscope. The amoebae are identical to the first amoeba that reproduced. That is, they all carry the same genetic information as the first amoeba. Like amoebae, unicellular organisms like bacteria also reproduce very quickly through binary fission. So now Seema knows why she found so many hydra and amoebae in the water after 2 days. This is because of the two types of asexual reproduction in organisms: budding and binary fission.
So here we are see the budding and binary fission in types of the asexual reproduction, जिसके अंदर सिंगल पेरेंट में से और अलग अलग ऑफस्प्रिंग हमको मिलती है. ओके, जिसके अंदर हमने अमीबा देखा और देन आफ्टर हमने देखा है बिडिंग इन some organisms. Now next practice question number 9.1, 9.3 and 9.5. Let us solve. Question number 9.1. Why budding from the asexual reproduction? Explain the using diagram. So first we can write like the budding in asexual with explain करना है diagram के साथ. So budding is a form of asexual reproduction because the offspring is product from a single parent. Single parent में से यहाँ पे एक में से हमको उसके offspring हमको मिल रहे हैं. Budding appears on the body of parent, then the bird grows and develops and obtaining nutrition from the plant. Then after the developing of fully develop होने के बाद the bird breaks away from the parent, and you have to draw these figures in your fair book. Then the next question, a parent amoeba goes through the 2 rounds of a binary fission. How many offspring would be created and as a result? So when a parent amoeba goes through the first round binary fission, it is divided into 2 identical amoeba. Then in the second round, the binary fission of these 2 identical amoeba will divide into the more offspring of each. So therefore the 4 offspring we will created in a end. So यहाँ पे एक में से ये 2 बनी, देन अगेन ये दोनों में से ये 2 निकली और ये में से ये दोनों. सो आफ्टर द सेकेंड फिजन वी हैव अ 4 amoeba. फर्स्ट एक में से 2, 2 में से 4. तो इस तरह से पूरी चेन निकलती रहेगी. इसको बाइनरी फिजन बोलते हैं इन asexual reproduction in amoeba. So you have to draw this figure in your question answer. Next, the practice question number 9.4 on SB14. Fill in the blanks using the options inside the below. Sexual, nucleus, different asexual, cytoplasm, identical and vacuole. So amoeba reproduce through asexual reproduction. In the process of the reproduction begins with the division of its nucleus into the 2. This followed by the division of cytoplasm in 2. This leads to development of 2 different and identical organisms. Next question number 9.5. What are the similarities and differences between the reproduction in amoeba and hydra? So here the similarities is here. You can see in a Venn diagram. So the cell body of the parent amoeba divides into by the dividing in a nucleus and the cytoplasm in 2 parts. This is called the binary fission, and the birds develop in a body of the parent hydra. Bird grows into the offspring and breaks away. This is called the budding. The parent of amoeba divide in a produce and a 2 amoeba and multiple birds can be developed in a 1 parent hydra. So now asexual reproduction दोनों में सेम रहेगा. देन सिंगल पेरेंट हो गए एंड आइडेंटिकल ऑफस्प्रिंग हमको मिलेगा. तो ये जो यहाँ पे आप लोग देख रहे हैं ये उसकी सिमिलैरिटीज हमको मिल रही है. Okay, so now today we are discussed the asexual reproduction. There is a type of sexual reproduction. ओके सो रिप्रोडक्शन इन एनिमल्स यानी कि एनिमल्स और ऑर्गेनिजम्स के अंदर जो कुछ भी प्रोडक्शन होता है, रिप्रोडक्शन होता है, जिसको हम बोलेंगे 2 अलग अलग टाइप्स हो गए, सेक्सुअल और एसेक्सुअल. सेक्सुअल के बारे में हमने देख लिया है. सो फर्स्ट वी आर डिस्कस्ड ऑन अ सेक्सुअल. So in your supplementary book page number 14 you have see the concept time number 10. So first, in asexual reproduction is offspring is produced the form of the single parent. There are 2 types of asexual reproduction, budding and a binary fission as shown in the below. So first you can see here the budding and binary fission. So budding के अंदर हमको bird मिलेगा. Then the nucleus of the parent or organisms advise into the 2 nuclei. then the budding grows and it develops by the obtaining nutrients while they are attached the parent. And the next, the cytoplasm is divides into two. Then when the bird develops it fully and it breaks away from the organisms, forming of the independent and identical organisms. Then after two new identical organisms are formed in an amoeba. So ये दो चीज हो रही है एसेक्सुअल एसेक्सुअल बेसिकली जो बर्डिंग जो होती है उसके अंदर हम देखें तो बर्डिंग है वो हाइड्रा और यीस्ट नाम की जो बैक्टीरियाज है उसके अंदर ज़्यादातर हमको ये प्रोसेस दिखनी मिलती है। एंड अमोइबा के अंदर हमको कौन सी प्रोसेस मिलेगी, बाइनरी फिजन हमको देखने को मिलेगी। Then after today we are discussed the practice question number in practice question number 9। उसके अंदर से हमने काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चन देखे। सो हियर वी कैन सी द हाइड्रा और डिफरेंट प्लांट्स इन ऑफस्प्रिंग। सो 9.1 2 3 4 5 उसमें से काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चन हमने आज अटेम्प्ट भी किए। सो यू हैव टू राइट दिस ऑल प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन आंसर इन योर फेयरबुक विद द प्रॉपर हैंड राइटिंग। Here, if you any type of doubt, so please ask me. I will definitely solve your doubt. This chapter is too much important for your examinations also. So, this is a biological unit, and this unit it is very important that we are already discussed. So now, if any types of doubt you have to ask anytime, I will definitely solve your doubt. So today we are discussed in a practice question number 9 that we are solved in this video. Page number 40 that you are seeing in your screen, SB14 reproduction in animals। तो ये पेज में से हमने आज कवर किया है। So today we are stop here. Then next day we are start to the concept time number 11. So in your homework, first you have to write this all practice question that we are discussed in today's lecture and we are solved here. So you have to write this all practice question in your fair book with the proper handwriting and the click the particular questions photos and the click send it to me and submit your homework. It is a compulsory. Then after you have to also read the concept time number 11 that we are discussed in the next lecture with a new science. So today we are stop here. So now stay happy, stay home. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care. Fun with science. Enjoy the science.